I'm so glad to be putting out a video on this because we've gotten the same question over and over. How do I know what AI platforms and prompts are actually recommending my brand? Now, if you have a brand, then you know that AI has kind of destroyed your SEO strategy in the last year. It is super frustrating to not have visibility of where your traffic is actually coming from through AI. And if you don't have this data, how are you actually going to build a winning AI strategy in 2026? Semrush just launched their shiny new AI Visibility Toolkit, and it is literally the answer to this question. Even if you're not looking for a new tool to accomplish this, stick around because I'm going to show you what things are really, really important to take note of when you're building an AI SEO strategy and how you can do all of it inside of this tool. Now, for the sake of an example, because I don't have my own brand right now, I'm going to use the brand Allbirds. I have no affiliation with this brand. I just saw an Instagram ad for them recently and it stuck in my mind. Now, here is what's crazy. It's got the largest US prompt database, 90 million prompts tracked with real search volumes, and the biggest database of ChatGPT prompts with 24.5 million of them, actionable insights and recommendations of what to do next. So let's just dive right in and let me show you what this tool looks like under the hood. First, go to Visibility Overview. Type in your brand's domain, and you've got an incredible overview of your brand's search visibility. Then you can go deeper to see, okay, what am I doing well and where are my opportunities? At the top, under AI Visibility, you can see how often your brand is mentioned in the AI-generated answers. So you've got your monthly audience, mentions, which is literally how many times AI will say, hey, you can go to Allbirds for shoes. Cited pages, that's how many times AI response lists your domain as a source. Now, right now, this chart area looks a little boring, but that's just because I created this as a test project. In a couple months, it would be populated with a ton more useful data. So let's go ahead and click on mentions, and it's going to take you down here. Prompts are cool because they give you these specific searches that people are making, but I want to bring your attention to topics. This tells us where we're doing well, and in opportunities, this tells us where we can improve. It's telling us these prompts where our competitors are being mentioned, but not us. So Semrush is saying this could be a potential topic for you to focus on in your marketing. In cited pages, this is where you've already been cited by AI platforms. So for example, the page on walking versus running is being cited by 39 prompts, which as of right now, here is the highest. What's important to know is that it doesn't always mean that you're mentioned if you're cited. So if you click on that calories burned running versus walking, you can see that Allbirds is cited as a source, but not actually mentioned in the AI response. And you can see that because it says missed under your brand, so your brand isn't actually being mentioned. In cited sources, you can see all the sources where you're being mentioned by AI. Reddit here you can see is leading the charge. Topic opportunities is really great because you can see, okay, people are searching for activewear and retail promotions or active running soles. That tells me we need to create a landing page or some content around these topics specifically. And if you find one of these opportunities you want to keep track of, all you have to do is hit monitor. Now let's take a look at competitor research. It's like the visibility overview, but it's taking all of these competitors and these topics that these websites rank for and putting them side by side to give you more info. And by the way, it pulled in a lot of these competitors by itself. So you can see we got a lot of work to do. Nike is crushing it with mentions for all these different topics. That would tell me as somebody who doesn't actually work at Allbirds, okay, we have to create some blog posts or landing pages specifically about shoe size conversion charts. You can click on your domain in this same section to see, okay, what are my best topics? For example, travel shoes in Europe, we're doing really well there. Sustainable and ethical clothing, we're outperforming even big brands like Nike. You can even click missing to see where you have 0 mentions, or you can hit shared to see topics where you and your competitors are both mentioned. This is massively valuable, especially if you're an agency working with a client like Allbirds. You can present them with this data and say, here's what's working, here's what's not working, and here are our highest priorities. Now let's check out prompt research. So here's where you can build your whole marketing and content strategy on a foundation of real AI prompts and searches. So just type in the keyword or phrase you want to research. So I'm going to do sustainable shoes. You can select your region up here and which AI platform you want to focus on. I'm going to keep it on all platforms for now. At the top of the page, you can see the AI volume, which is the estimated traffic that topic is getting, the topic difficulty, which is how hard it is to compete for visibility with that topic, the number of brands that are mentioned, so you can literally see your competition, and different types of intent broken down. That literally means that at a glance, you've got all your work cut out for you. Now, if you scroll down a bit, you can see all the prompts related to this topic. You can literally see what people are asking for, which is insanely valuable. It's one thing to see a list of keywords and Google searches, but AI prompts are vastly more detailed. They've got a wealth of data on that person's intent, values, fears. It is a goldmine. You can see the specific prompt, the platform it came from, the AI response, the brands mentioned, and the sources that are cited. You can even hit the Create Content button, and the tool automatically generates an article based on the prompt so that when people search that in the future, AI will actually cite you. You can also monitor the specific prompt, selecting what platform to watch for so you can see the growth of specific prompts. What that really means is tracking people's desires. With this example, if you notice that a lot of people are searching for or asking about durability when it comes to sustainable shoes, then you know that's what your marketing and your content needs to focus on. Let's look at the brand performance part of this tool. This tab focuses on the success of your brand as a whole, not just your visibility. This is where you can see how much you're being talked about and why you're being talked about. So it's crazy. Once you enter your domain, it finds a custom set of prompts generated specifically for your domain. In this tab, you can see all these different data points based on the LLM that you choose. You can select Google AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and more. So we'll start with Google AI. In this section, share of voice versus sentiment, which shows a bubble chart that tells you how often and how high you're being mentioned on the x-axis, against your sentiment score or how positively you're being portrayed on the y-axis. And the bubble size reflects total mentions, so that helps you see quickly if you have a large presence with positive sentiment or if the competitors are edging ahead. Earlier in my career, I worked at a review management company, and I cannot tell you how invaluable sentiment analysis is to these brands and their success. On the left side, Insights, you got a customized AI strategy based on all the data that's collected. Scroll down a bit and you've got this section on the right, Share of Voice, where you can see your brand's visibility in AI answers to non-branded questions compared to your competitors. That's super important to understand how AI is recommending your brand, even when the searcher isn't looking for your brand or your product specifically. And right here to the left, you've got overall sentiment, which it finds by splitting positive and general AI mentions of your brand to show you whether your marketing resonates positively with customers. Below, in the section Key Business Drivers by Frequency, you're going to see specific things that AI answers will list or talk about when mentioning your brand or your competitors. If it's darker, that brand is being mentioned the most for this topic. So you can see Allbirds is crushing it on the sustainable materials mix. And what's cool is that you can change the LLM to see if that sentiment changes across GPT, Google AI, Perplexity, etc. So for example, with Perplexity, Nike is beating out Allbirds for minimalist, packable assortment. Then you can scroll down to your brand versus competitors to see some one-on-one breakdowns of how you're actually doing against each competitor. And that's really helpful if you're just focusing on beating one competitor at a time. At the bottom is my favorite part, the AI Strategic Opportunities section. So you've got these recommendations on how to improve your brand image and sales, categorized as short time frame and medium time frame, so you even know what to focus on first. Let's take a quick look at the perception report. You can see your competitive perception by platform compared to your competitors. You can see in favorable sentiment over time how the perception of your brand and your competitors has changed. So you can track your campaigns to see if they're working. You can scroll down, you can see what strengths you have that are actually building your sentiment and what areas that you really need to work on. Now, how do you get more eyes on your brand via these LLMs? Let's go deeper in this Narrative Drivers tab. Again, you can select which LLM you want to focus on. This time we'll do ChatGPT. It gives you specific insights, which is cool. In Share of Voice by Platform, you can see what competitors are getting mentioned first when a user asks a non-branded question. Someone shouldn't have to type in the phrase, best Allbirds shoes for travel in order to get recommended your product. And this tool basically helps you spot those growth opportunities to get that recommendation going. In Share of Voice, you can see how you're ranked in response to non-branded questions. It's based on how often your brand is mentioned and how early it appears in the answer. Here in Mentions, you can see the actual number of times you're getting mentioned in AI-generated answers. That also means that you can track your progress as you're making changes to get more visibility. In Average Position, you've got you and your competitors arranged by their ranking in LLMs, and Allbirds is doing really solid compared to these competitors, so good job, Allbirds. Low numbers mean a higher ranking, so that's good. Okay, and here is probably my favorite part of this tool, a detailed breakdown of each AI-generated answer to queries related to your brand. This section includes both branded and non-branded questions, along with branded and non-branded citations. As a content creator, why do I love this section so much? It's basically a blueprint on what organic content and paid traffic content you need to create to answer questions people have about your brand and your products before they even ask them. Now that there's this totally new landscape for AI and SEO, you need more than to just read a few AI prompts. You also need to audit your entire site to make sure that everything is optimized. People used to pay SEO companies a lot of money to run these big site-wide audits on all of their content. Now, this tool will do all of that for you automatically. So let's take a look. In the overview section, you've got things like site health, which is based on the number of errors and warnings found on your site and their uniqueness. The higher the score, the fewer problems your site has. The better it's optimized for search engines and the more user-friendly it is. In crawled pages, you can see a quick breakdown of what pages are healthy, broken, have issues, and more. The AI search health section is based on AI search checks which tell you whether AI chatbots are actually blocked. Basically, you could be getting left out of AI search results altogether and not know it. And you can see which pages are blocked by specific LLMs. If you scroll down a bit, you can also see the top issues found and thematic reports for things like crawlability, site performance, and more. In the Errors tab, you can find errors and warnings all categorized, so you can address and fix them systematically. In the Crawled Pages tab, you can see the list of page URLs, and you can even filter them based on which has the most issues. There is so much more to go through, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go on to the prompt tracking section. Now, if you head over to prompt tracking, you've got a whole bunch of new features. Now, I've just set up this test account. I was super excited to make this video, so I haven't given it really enough time to populate with all of the site's data. So there's going to be some blank sections here, but bear with me. So for visibility, you can see your overall Google ranking for your selected keywords, your estimated traffic, and your average position for all your keywords. You can even see your ranking distribution and what keywords specifically are ranking in Google's top 3, top 10, 20, and top 100. You've got a breakdown of your keywords that have boosted your rankings the most. And again, normally somebody would add a lot more keywords, a lot more competitors to help get this tool started, but I just dove right in. A breakdown of your keywords that have boosted your rankings the most and which have dropped your ranking. A map of market traffic featuring your competitors. The SERP features, like where you're popping up, whether it's a featured snippet, a local pack, hotels, way more. The goal here is helping you stay visible, optimized, and competitive in this era of AI search. I have not seen any other tools that have this size of a prompt database or this level of detail. So if you or your company is looking for a tool to enhance visibility within AI search, this one was designed exactly for you. If you have any questions about this tool, let me know. If you want me to do a deeper dive into this tool with other examples, also let me know and I'd be happy to do that. Go check it out.